A 911 dispatcher confused over who can respond to an emergency. It's what you don't want when seconds matter. I'm Scott Reynolds.
And I'm Shannon Kogan. That is exactly what is happening in one local county and more than once. WAVE 3 News reporter Theo Keith has been investigating this for weeks now. He joins us now. Theo, there was actually a death in one of the cases?
Yeah, Shannon, I've discovered this has happened 3 times in the past month, including that one death in Bullitt County. Now we're alerting you to the changes that are being made.
I'm calling. Bullitt County 911, where's your emergency?
It's a high-stakes call when an 18-year-old stops breathing at home.
Oh my God, is he conscious, ma'am? Well, barely. Oh my God, we've got this auction on an 8 as high as it'll go. No, he's getting ready to, he's turning blue, purple. Okay. Oh my gosh.
The dispatcher's first call was to the Zoneton Fire District, 7 minutes away from the emergency.
Attention Zoneton Fire units, respond to.
But the captain calls back, says his firefighters can't go.
Hey, this is Captain Shirley up at Zoneton. Yes, sir. For our protocols, unless they're in full arrest, we cannot make the run.
All ambulances are busy. The dispatcher needs someone nearby and calls for a Hillview police officer. The 18-year-old patient goes into full arrest before EMS arrives. Once they get him to Jewish South, doctors pronounce the young man dead. So what happened? We started asking questions.
The initial response was a dispatcher error.
Zoneton Fire Chief Rob Orkey says the dispatcher should have known about an 8-year-old policy that limits 4 of the 6 Bullitt County fire districts to certain medical runs.
When the call came in, it came in, and you have the records there. It says a difficulty breathing. Under the 3 provisions I told you, difficulty breathing is not one that we're covered to respond by.
Mike Phillips, the man in charge of Bullitt County 911, agrees his dispatcher should have known. But as I found out, this dispatcher is not alone.
Is this the first time that this sort of instance has happened, where there's been confusion?
No.
During dispatch?
It's about the 3rd time, not with the same dispatcher.
And in just the past month. Phillips says the training for new hires didn't explain the policy, or how 2 other agencies in Shepherdsville and Mount Washington have recently decided to respond to more medical calls. So Phillips will do more training with his dispatchers, and despite the recent confusion, says this about emergency response in Bullitt County.
The public has a good service.
There is a big difference between what has happened in Bullitt County and another story I've been covering this summer, the ongoing disagreement in Louisville over suburban medical response. While Jefferson County firefighters, many of them anyway, are EMTs, far fewer of them are in Bullitt County. Zoneton Chief Rob Orkey says on many calls, including at the very start of this one, all his firefighters could do is to provide comfort for the patient.
And Theo, you spoke to the family of the young man who died in this case.
Yeah, I did, and they are certainly in grief, as you can imagine, but they did feel that the emergency response was fine. They say their son, who had muscular dystrophy, had such a very serious medical problem that night that nothing really could have been done for him.
But turning blue, and yet they didn't go.
Yeah.
And that's the policy.
That's the policy. Yeah.
Thanks, Theo.
You bet.